your aim is, when you have a customer, that he's coming back to you. Yeah, that what is called the retention rate. And this is also important, that you get a retention rate which is quite high. Yeah, because retention rate is crucial for your business. And I don't know whether we talked about a case. I think we talked about this company offering accessoires for homes. Yeah. And what they found out is, from an external perspective, that analysts looked at this company and found out and said, look, they do quite high revenues, but they have rising marketing costs. The result was that they acquired quite a lot of customers, but they lost customers very easy and very fast. So probably a customer just ordered once, probably twice. So the retention rate of existing customers and to acquire a customer is expensive. Yeah, it is more expensive to acquire a new customer than, of course, keep an existing one. So they lost, in early stages of a customer lifetime, they lost customers. So that means if you lose customers, you have to go back into the beginning and invest money to acquire new customers. That means if this came out from analysts, the stock went down by more than 20% in one day. If that was published, this lack of high intention rate. So that is not only important for a company which is working on, let's say, on a perspective like an international company, etc. It is important for every business and also for small businesses. Yeah. Okay, I have, so have a look at this. It could probably help you discussing in your homework about marketing, etc. Issues. And we went, or I did a little excursus in the lecture and also in the slides talking about this. Yeah. And you know what I like is this guy with, let me check, do I have it? Do you still have a look? No. You don't see this book, this page anymore, right?
Yeah, we don't have much time to read this book now.
No. You don't need to write the whole book. Yeah, you just need to look. Yeah, just in German we say querlesen. Just look at the different sectors and sections, and go through it and find out certain parts to read, which could help you. Yeah, but I think it's a quite good book. It is basic, and it is realistic, real. It's not a theoretical piece of a book. Then I give you another hint for a book which is written by, it's also, I think, a well-known guy. That is Mr. Gibbons. Da Silva. So let me check. Where is this? Ah, here. So here there is one chapter about business planning. Yeah. So that could help. Yeah. That gives you also kind of orientation, etc. And if you look to my slides about business plan, kind of what a business plan should contain is out of this book. Yeah, I will see where I find this. Okay. I come back to the presentation. So, okay. So, so can you see this page?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this page about the aspects of a business plan, for example, is copied out of this book. Yeah. So just have a closer look into this book regarding the business plan. So you see here the referral to this book. Yeah. And you know, I love this this section. or this kind of presentation, which is, here you find also this book, what I was talking about. Yeah. And you know, I love this here. Yeah.
Always.
And I give you this here. This is more or less the same logic. Yeah. Just a different presentation. And that tells you what I just we're talking about. You have the acquisition phase, which costs money. You go and rise and create business. Then you have this retention phase where it is where it decides how many people are buying your product again and again. Yeah. And in this company, what happened is they lost, in this phase, they lost their customer, which they acquired with a lot of effort and money. And then they lost them here. So they didn't come in these very intense relationship phases. And that was the case I explained to you. Yeah. So when you look to the customer lifetime value, then you have a view from today backwards, which is quite easy because you say, okay, with this target group, I made this and this amount of money. But from today into the future, there you can calculate a predictive customer lifetime value, which is then partly defined here. Yeah. You look to a period of 3, could be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. You look to the, what is it? Let me check. I don't get it. The cross margin and the cost for acquisition to acquire a customer times 7.5. This is the retention rate. That means 75% of the customer you acquired, 75% buy your products again. Yeah. So you have your cross margin, that is your earning per product. You have your acquisition costs times retention rate, always with T, and T is 3 years, 1 to 3, divided by 1 plus 3, 0.03 times 3 this is a discount factor. And this discount factor is, some people take an interest rate and say, okay, but if we calculate this, we have to bring into account that there is an interest rate we have to consider for future revenue. Here we talk always about future revenue. And this is the future revenue calculated backwards to today's value. Yeah, if you have a car and you sell cars during the next 2 or 3 years, and then you calculate what is the revenue of the BMW, which I hope to sell in 2 years? What is the revenue of this car today? And that is what it means, the predicted customer lifetime value, which is very important. Yeah, that is important because on the prediction and the planning for the future regarding expenses versus income. That means you acquire a customer, like in a restaurant. You try to make them buying more and more or coming back into your restaurant. Today, you know, okay, I did this amount of revenue, and you know your customer who are coming constantly and again and again. And then you can say, okay, I have 100 customers. From these 100 customers, 60 customers are coming at least once a week. Then you have a retention rate from 60%. Yeah? That's nice. But then you say, oh, I need to calculate my marketing costs, etc., for the future. And then you have to look into the future. What are the future revenue with target groups or my existing customers or new customers, new customer groups in the future? And then you calculate it back on today. And this calculating future incomes back on today, that is then represented by this formula and is called net present value. Future, calculating back. As you see the example here, this period is let's say 3 years. The acquisition costs, let's say this is one big customer, is 5 euro. The margin is 100 and the retention rate is 75. That means from your 100 customers, 75 are coming back each year. And the discount factor, like the interest rate, is 3. In this calculation, because here the overall costs to enter the market is 1,000 euro, are too high. That means this future business means, if you look today, is minus 843.78 euro. Yeah? So the projection into the future is a time of is today's value 843. That means this factor here tells you that this business here is probably in the future negative. So that means it is probably not profitable to make with this customer or this customer group business. Yeah. That means either you change some parts. If you say, okay, here the instant investment, I have to go down with the investment, that I get a positive result in the future. Or I have to higher the margin. Yeah. So just to have this in mind, you have an historical and you have a future look into your business. that also can be discussed in a plan, in a business plan. Yeah. Okay. So this book, what I showed you, have a look for the business plan, and you have some text which are quite interesting. So just have a look into this books, and I have a look also. Not all the good books are here in this, but this book is also mentioned in the document about our lecture. Yeah, so you find this in the list. Okay, good. Do you have questions regarding important future points in our lessons, etc.?
Is that we should do things complex like that?
Please?
Is that we also need to do the complex, mathematical calculate like that?
No, but you should have this issue in mind.
Okay, because that's the most. I worry about my mathematics at most.
No, but I tell you, everybody should go with these figures into this formula. It's not really. This is the number of, let's say, years. This is the initial investment. This is the margin. This is the acquisition cost times the retention rate and divided by 1 plus the discount factor. And if you calculate this, it's very easy, very easy. Then you get this number, and that is important, that a view into the future must not always be positive. That is important. And it is important because when you have a business, it is too easy just to talk about the whole customer or the overall customers. And we talked about to target the right customer group, to identify the target. And these calculations, mostly they are done to look at either single customers, to project the revenues after histories of those customers, or you have identified a target group, you look into this new target group or existing target group, and then you calculate based on historical data. So, for example, this investment, €1,000, that is a figure which comes out of your experience in the past. And then you go and say, does it make sense under those circumstances to invest and go into this market segment? And that is probably could mean under these circumstances, it's negative. And then you have certain possibilities. One is you say, no, I can't do it. I don't have that much money to spend. Or you say, I have to change some of these indicators, that the result is becoming better. That is also a point you have to discuss, or you should discuss in a paper. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. This is not for you. This shouldn't happen in your homework. Yeah. You should meet the moon. Yeah? You shouldn't fail to actually miss him. You shouldn't miss him. It's nice to be in the stars, but you should not miss the moon. This is your target in your homework. Okay. The ladies, questions?